Ho, ho, ho! Hey there, hey there. Welcome, welcome everybody to the Director's Garage Live. Humpday Happy Hour Post-Colonoscopy Blowout. Host, resident idiot Michael. And got the Mezes out. You know we're going to talk about the Meze, the big Meze news of the day that was a secret to pretty much everybody except a few, and I wasn't in that group. I was not in that group. I did not get the early memo release, the pre-release version of the. I bought 3 Meze headphones at full price from this company, and not so much as a little. Hey, you know, you've reviewed a lot of. You've reviewed 4 of our headphones, and you know usually you have nice things to say. Why don't you try these? No. I got nothing. You'll have nothing and like it. So the big news today, of course, is the Meze Imperion 2 is on the market, or at least it's available for pre-order starting today. And there's all sorts of little tidbits about this thing I can talk about because I did a little bit of research. These are positioned below the Meze Elite, below this headphone. They're $1,000 less than the cost of the Elite, and yet they're brand new. They're supposed to have some trickle-down technology. The outer cup is the biggest change. Let's go to the website real quick, because we can do this, because I have the laptop of death awake and alive. Let's see. Where are we going? Let's go to, yeah, let's go right there. So here's the Meze page. Gateway to Sonic Paradise. The hype machine in full swing, boys. The hype machine is in full swing. Yeah, okay. Oh, we got to go up. Let's make it full screen. You notice that this is the biggest change right here. You're looking at it, right where my little cursor is there. This here is the new cutouts over the earpieces, over the Renaro drivers. And it still has Renaro drivers, kids. There's nothing new there. I don't know all that's changed about it except for some tuning. Here's a couple of things. So, okay, you got this outer cup change, which just shuffled away from me. Thanks a lot, Meze. Another thing you've done for me. But the basic construction is the same. It's carbon fiber on the top. It's got the little weird cutout for your head that keeps things perfectly comfortable. They've changed ear pads. Here's what they've done on the ear pads. They have done... Let's see. Let's go back here. They have done... they're now giving you a hybrid ear pad and an angled ear pad that is suede. Those come stock, and you get a Meze upgraded cable stock with the release. Well, that's nice. That's nice. The case has been smaller, shrunken, and yeah, the tuning was tweaked. So it's supposed to have more detail than the Imperion, less detail than the Elite. It's got greater clarity than the, well, it's kind of the same as detail, but greater clarity than the Imperion 1 and less clarity than the Elite. It's not as dark. They've taken the bass, that upper bass shelf, and kind of pulled it back a bit, and they have added some upper mid-range. Okay. And increase the soundstage, allegedly, reportedly. I don't have confirmation on any of this. I haven't heard them. I don't have... Meze didn't give me any inclination that this was coming. They sent it out to all the other reviewers who have more subscribers than me. And I'm not pouting at all. Meze, how could you? We had this thing going, Meze. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, but it's got it's still a Renaro driver. It's still, you know, whether they've changed it or not. I didn't watch the videos. Maybe we can watch the videos. Can I do that without getting demonetized? I don't know. I don't know if I can or not. Let's go back over here for a second. But it's still a Renaro driver, and it's still got the same magnet array. So I'm like, I'm not sure exactly. It's now the Meze X Renaro. So, you know, they must have done some sort of revision to the driver. But more clarity, more depth, more fun. Okay, those are highly subjective. Graph that, mother. Well, it's so fun. Yeah, our isodynamic hybrid array driver. It says so if it's still the Renaro because it's still got this weird, you know, it's a two-part driver. They're doing some stuff down here and other stuff up here. But I'd have to look deep into, I was working all day, boys, so I didn't have a chance to do much more than jot down a couple of notes on what was being reported. But it's still the Renaro, it's still this and still that. They tweaked some things, and of course they kept the comfort, which is great. Fully serviceable. Yay, we like that. I don't know. And nothing's broken on my Elite, so it's nothing to worry about there. I don't know. I think it's great. I'm always in favor of another headphone. I just don't know. They took some bass out, but that doesn't sound like a great thing for my head. I like bass, and I love the bass response of the Elite. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm getting in line for these, but I'd love to review them. But the original Meze Imperion was a slow headphone, and that was the biggest knock on it, was that it was a slow headphone. And so if they've increased the speed and made it a little faster, but not as fast, not enough to cannibalize their amazing top-of-the-line model, well, sure, go for it, guys. I mean, I think that's great. Give us options. Always give us more options. But they're still coming in at $3,000, which is $1,000 cheaper than the $4,000 Meze Elite. So, good day for Meze, I guess. If they get a bunch of pre-sales, hopefully. What's going on in your world? That was like the main thing. That was the big news that broke today, of course. And there are some reviews out there. I didn't watch any of them. I just jotted down some stuff from some articles and stuff that caught my eye. And that's it. So we'll see what you guys think about the new Meze release. What do you guys think? Is this a good thing? Is this exciting? Is it not exciting? Could you care less? You gonna spend some money? These holidays are coming up, guys. We're gonna get some extra cash around the house. So who knows? I think I can't wait to hear them. I guess, but if it's underperforming the Elite, which to me is kind of like the Elite just kind of squeaks over that line, when it comes to detail. I mean, for $4,000, for a $4,000 headphone, now these are $3,000, so okay, I guess you measure your expectations a little bit. But, if you, Atomic Rooster, email me. You owe me an email at directorsgarage@gmail.com because you won something. And I don't remember what you won, but you won something. Go watch the video, the winner video. But not now. Watch it after the live stream because I need viewers. But you did win. You won something in the contest, and I don't remember what it was. But so you got to email me and send me your info, and then I'll send that out. And by the way, I did wind up sending out the, what was it? JTB, I sent his IEMs out, the Nobles, and I also sent out the Diokos to Serbia, to Cop, something or other, Cop. I found shipping that was at least $130, and I'm like, well, I can send them out for that. But for $350, I was like, not going to happen, guys. We got to figure out something else. I was prepared to just send him the $99, but I'm like, he won, so I want him to get something. So those two have been sent out. I've been in talks with one other winner who won the Eternal. And he's going to get his headphones. I haven't sent them yet because that's a whole thing. Don't worry about it. Not important. But that's good. So Atomic Rooster, you're one of my remaining 3, and there's 2 other folks who have not claimed their prize. So make sure you get on that. Oh, great. You're in the UK. Something else is going to cost me more shipping. Ah, God, this is fun, isn't it? My bank account's going down. That's great. No, that's fine. Send me your email and we'll send whatever it is. I don't remember which one. You won either. You may have won the timeless. I'm not sure. But whatever it was, send me you got to watch the video. I don't remember what you won. So that's great. The other news of the week, we have this. I'm waiting for your Meze comments and see what you think. Newer, better, faster, but not as fast as these. Or quite as good, I guess. I don't know. That's what I was reading from the headlines. Those are the headlines I took away. So we talked about the Meze Elite release, and then the other thing was the arrival of the Enleum in the video this week that posted yesterday morning. And oh my God, I can't wait to do the full review on the Enleum. I am just excited as hell. It's the first time since I've started this show and I got the HiFiman Susvara in, that the HiFiman is doing something really special. Because, I mean, I've paired it with the Ohr, and I've tried all the tricks with the Ohr, the high power, all the things. I've paired it with, the GSX Mark II. I've paired it with the Phonitor X. I've paired it with the Bakoon 13R. I've paired it with everything, trying to get that thing to perform. All my tube amps, everything. The Enleum is the first time the Susvara has shown me something. Like really shown me something and made me go, whoa, wait a second. And I've been listening, like, keep in mind, I shot that review, about a week ago, roughly a week ago. Yeah, about a week ago. I have been doing listening every night. I can't put the Susvara down. It sounds so good. It's like the more I listen, the more I've confirmed my own beliefs in what it is and like how good this pairing is. And it's just like, I was listening earlier today. I had a minute and I had lunch and I put on Stevie Ray Vaughan, Double Trouble, Couldn't Stand the Weather. And the first notes hit and the bass rumble, and it fills in so low, so much deeper than the Susvara has ever filled in. And it's got all the speed and all the great stuff that always happens on top and the best mids in the business and all the things. And it's like, and the more I've listened to it, the more, and I still have other amps coming this fall, for sure, guaranteed. I've got other amps coming this fall, absolutely. And I don't know that I want to let this Enleum go, and I don't know how I'm going to afford it. So I am going to try to, sell the Bakoon 13R. No, I know. What am I, nuts? But and I haven't even done the full review yet, which is kind of like the problem. It's like I can't rush the review through because I have to do 2 other episodes before I get to the full review of the Enleum. But I'm so impressed with this, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is right out of the gate. And I'm like, this thing sounds really special, and I don't want it to leave house. So to make that happen, I've got to get rid of the Bakoon, but I need the Bakoon to do the review. Does that make sense? So I don't know how that's going to happen. Oh, it's all going to happen. It's going to shake out. And I got to find out if anybody's even interested in the Bakoon 13R. I had one guy interested for a minute, and then he's like, nah, I don't know. I'm like, okay, whatever. But there's something special going on in the Enleum. It's not, what I can tell you is this. So far, and I haven't done that much A-Bing yet, because I haven't jumped into full review mode on that. But I did a little bit, and I've confirmed to myself that there's something going on with the Enleum that the Bakoon isn't doing, and it happens to be in the bass, for sure. There is more punch There is more. It's just a different level of experience, and I'll get it all into words. I'm kind of stumbling because I'm doing this live, but when I do the full review, I'll have it all, you know, sorted, and I'll explain exactly what it is. But there's a jump, and there's a significant jump, and I didn't expect it. In fact, judging from the way the Enleum has gone, the release of the Enleum, the first batch of reviews that came out on the Enleum were glowing. Everybody was going nuts about this thing, and I'm like, okay, well, it's probably the shit. It's probably the next thing above the Bakoon 13R. I get it, totally get it, and respect. And then like 3 months in, there was kind of like an Enleum backlash. Like it whatever the steam that it had built started waning. And you can get the Enleum now for, you know, not, you know, cheap. It's not going to be a cheap amp. It still is what it is. But like the Bakoon, suddenly there was more of an interest in the Bakoon, and that spells well for me, because maybe I'll find somebody who wants this Bakoon and wants to find it a home. And the Enleum sort of like it became less special for some reason. Listening to this thing, I'm telling you, like, it's such a jump. I'm like, I'm willing to sell the Bakoon for what I can and throw the extra money and try and pick up, you know, the Enleum. I think that's where my head is as of today. And you know, I change on a whim, so you know, I'm like a fickle girlfriend. I change my opinion by the day. Okay, so let's do some chat, and then we'll see what's on your guys' minds, and we'll jump back, and I don't know. We can talk about anything you want today. So we've dropped two big topics today. We've got to talk about this Enleum in advance of me doing a full review in a few weeks, and then we've got a brand new Meze on the market, which is always a good thing, because they don't do bad stuff over at Meze. Okay. And then Nephilim says we're going to talk about the Meze 2, Meze Imperion 2, and the amp that rules the Susvara. Happy Wednesday indeed. Power up. And that thing's got so much power. Good afternoon, y'all. Ken Workshop. Ken just emailed me about a secret project he's working on. I can't wait till he wants to share that information. I'm super excited. And I owe him an email. I owe you an email, Ken. Ryan Dietz from Mod House. Hello in the house. Cheers all. Cheers everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. Hope yours is going as well as mine has been. I don't know what that means. Greetings from Bermondsey, southeast London, which is, as we know, near Butler's Wharf. My favorite place to shoot in London. Christopher Luckenbach. Hi, everyone. Hey. How you doing, Christopher? It's a new driver, too. Is it a new driver? I mean, because it still says it's a Renaro. Now, maybe they tweaked the driver, or it made an advance on the driver, or maybe Renaro, who makes separate company, who makes named Renaro, who makes the driver for the Meze Imperion and the Meze Elite, which started out being called the Meze Imperion Elite, and then they dropped the Imperion from it because it was getting too confusing. Yeah, so he's excited to hear them. Yeah, Christopher, I am too. I would like to hear them. I want to hear what they did. I'm a little concerned because if they cut some bass out, I'm never a fan of that. unless it just like cleans it up or something. I don't know. Atomic Rooster, I addressed you, sir. Nephilim says the Meze really defines industry trends in this hobby. Come on, guys, we can see it. Well, yes, I mean, look, they did reskin the 99 or the 109 in advance of the holiday season to get a bump, but now they've got a whole new headphone out, so that's kind of interesting. I think the trend that Meze set with this first headphone, God, they're comfortable. The trends that Meze, or the ground that Meze broke with this, really the Imperion 1, is headphones should be comfortable. There's no excuse for you giving me any more any longer, going forward, there should be no excuse for you giving me a headphone that's not a joy to put on my head and feel like as good as these feel. They're phenomenal. And then the design. They said, they taught us that that you need to innovate and you need to come up with new ways of presenting your headphones that's interesting. And this stuff of, you know, buying a bunch of, you know, off-the-shelf parts and piecing it together into a headphone isn't going to fly. If you want to play with the big boys, you got to do design. Yeah, you know, I don't think if the Abyss 1266 came out today, I don't know that it would even have a place in the market because of headphones like this. Like, they're going to look at it and it's going to be really a much harder sell today. There was so, you know, that thing had so much performance when it came out. People were willing to deal with the weird and bizarre and ugly, you know, presentation. I don't know that that flies as much today. I think that that headphone would have a harder time in today's market. They would go, really? But I can just buy the Susvara, you know, because Susvara wasn't out when the 1266 came out. You know, why do I need this crazy contraption? You know, so yeah, and that's not to say that, you know, the sound on the Abyss is phenomenal. There's no question, and it does amazing things, particularly with soundstage and bass impact that few headphones do. Did get a listen to the LCD4 on this Enleum though. The thing I'm finding is that there are some headphones that the Enleum really lights up, and then there are some that it's kind of like, well, this is okay. This isn't like, it's good, but it's not special. The LCD4 was a special moment. It really did great things with the LCD4. And it did the same, obviously it did the same with the Susvara. So it just blew me out of the water with the Susvara. So yeah, so I kind of agree with that the industry trends thing, Meze, you know, kind of made it, you know, to put the world on notice that, you know, you're going to have to deliver some level of comfort. You can't put these cans on our heads anymore that you know, bite down on our ears, and, you know, it's not going to fly. And then design, and because they're so good, you know, and then the tunings, you know, they paid attention to tuning, and like a great tuning can overcome mediocre technicals. I don't know that everybody buys into that, but I think that there's something to be said for it. You know, people, they spend a ton of time getting the tune just right, and as mediocre as the technicals were on the Imperion, they sounded good. You know, you put them on their head and you're like, these sound great. You know, they're not blowing me away in detail, but the sound of them is great. Start A-Bing them, then you start hearing the differences in that technical stuff. But out of the box, it sounded great. Nephilim says, Michael, check out the Burson Voyager. Oh yeah, that's another new amp. I am so sorry. That was the other thing. I meant to put that on my list today. Burson introduced a Voyager amp for pre-order. And it's kind of like their next generation, as Nephilim says. Yes. Built-in subwoofer modes and crossfeed. You know, I've been in touch with Burson off and on. That would be a nice thing for them to send me, don't you think, to review? Oh my God, yeah. So yeah, I saw that. Let me see if I can find it real quick. They sent me the email. I have the email from them, and I can't show you the email, but it was just announcing the product. But let's go take a look. Oh, Yahoo stealing my damn browser again, or my search engine. I hate them. Walmart, great. Burson Audio. Here we go. Let's see if it's on the home page. Burson Audio. Yeah, here it is. So this is the new shape of Burson. This is the sign of things to come. the Soloist Voyager, and I imagine you're going to get the GT. You're going to get all of the extra frills in the future, but this is step one. This is the first part of that, of the next wave of Burson technology, and it's going to be this. That's going to be the form factor inside a whole bunch of capacitors and chips and stuff. Okay, great, phenomenal. The sound of silence. Well, if it's not making any noise, if it's not making any noise, do I really want this thing? Sound of silence. What is that about? I'm sure they're talking about the quiet, you know. But whatever. Yeah. So, and I not having read this, I'm not going to go too deep into it. But if you can go over to Burson Electronics and check this out yourself. But you know, we look at pretty pictures on this show, and we accept cookies because cookies are always a good thing, aren't they? Let's take a look. Let's go through some photos. Here we go. Is it going to show them to us? Oh yeah, they are. How do we get from one to the next with the little arrow? Nice, nice. Love the two-tone. Love the two-tone. The back of it, balanced, unbalanced. Nice, nice. Not like the Enleum. Enleum's only unbalanced. It's got a bunch of different options for outputs. That's nice to see. Standing on its end, very clever. Like that. Probably have a stand for it that'll cost you a fortune. Outboard. Oh, it's another thing that I noticed. I always look for this. It's outboard power supply, right? Because it's going to feed it in DC. So it's doing the power supply on the outside of the box. And a snazzy looking knob. And there's the inside of it. If you copy this exactly, you can build your own, guys, at home. Real quick. Get all these capacitor numbers down. I've done soldering on a motherboard like that. It is painful. It is painful if you don't have the right equipment. I didn't. I just had a solder gun. Dang. Okay. Well, there you go. There's your new Burson Voyager. Yeah, I had written that in a note, but it was on another. It's a long story. Me taking notes. I use the Macintosh Notes app all the time. That's where I write everything. Like jot down ideas, jot down, and I actually. For a while, they had a ceiling on how many notes you could keep in there, so I was always having to go back and delete old stuff. And yeah, I had put on another note to talk about the Voyager today, and I just forgot it because I wrote out all the Imperion stuff. So there you go. Christopher Luckenbach says, "Great to see. Can't wait to see the full 23-hour review." Yeah, I can't wait to do it. I can't wait to do it. And I can't wait to really go back and forth between the 13R and the 23R. Very good. I lost my place. Where was I? I also noticed that some people got some of the specs wrong in reviews. This is a 25 watt into 8 ohm Class AB amplifier. I've heard people say it's Class A. I've heard people say that it's 8 watts or 8 watts into 8 ohms or something like that, or 15 watts into 8 ohms. It's like, no, it's 25 watts, 8 ohms. Yeah, so there you go. So I have listed the 13R. We'll see if anybody buys it. If anybody buys it, then that will push me to next steps and doing that. But I also know that I have another brand new amp coming, which could complicate everything. But I can't talk about it yet, what it is. I just know that it's coming in a future episode. If we are talking about the Imperion bottom end, says Peter T. Cheers, Peter T. Welcome to Wednesday. Happy Hour, Hump Day, Hangout, Director's Garage, post-colonoscopy edition. Your director was violated this week, my friends. And it wasn't pretty. If we are talking about the Imperion bottom end, has the procedure been mentioned how it went? Oh, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. Full-on cleaning out preparation. Yo. I see what you did there. It just took me a minute to catch up. Yes, the procedure when it went down or up on Monday, and I took the day off, and How good Mrs. Director is as a wife. She greeted me. She had to pick me up because you're not allowed to drive after such procedures. Picked me up with pizza in the car because she knew I hadn't eaten in like, 72 hours or something like that, 48 hours or something. It was just like I had stopped eating sometime during Saturday, like early Saturday, and I didn't eat anything all day, whatever. I went a couple of days. I was starving. So she greeted me with pizza in the car. That's a good Mrs. Director. How to stay married, boys. Do the little things. So you listen to the 20. Yes, I listened to my 13R. I don't know if it'll sell. If it'll sell, then I've got some decisions to make. If it doesn't sell, I don't know then. We'll see. Then I'm probably going to stay the course. But I really don't want to let the 23R go. But I can't afford to sell it, or I can't afford to buy it without getting rid of something. So I'm kind of like in that. I've got to horse trade a little bit, or find an interesting deal for something. The Enleum 23R has a power spec into 60 ohms. Webpage doesn't list. Why, I ask. Oh, I don't know. But I know from other reviews that it's the same output as the original Bakoon 13R. So that's how I know it's 25 watts, 8 ohms. And I know that all of that is available to the headphone circuit. So that's good. Gilbert, no, just sell the Susvara. Well, okay. The thing is that it's the Susvara hasn't done it for me for such a long time, and this now it's giving me the vibes with the 23R in the chain. It's given me the vibes of the HE1000 when I had the HE1000 here. It was said because the HE1000 is infinitely easier to drive. But the HE1000 gave me bass response. It just didn't have the speed of the Susvara. Now I'm getting all of that speed and all that texture and all that really crazy good stuff, and then those great mids that the Susvara has. And I'm getting now a rumble down low. I'm getting sub-bass activation that no other amp, I'm telling you, no other amp has been able to provide so far. And maybe there's others out there. Maybe, maybe there's all the tricks with your speaker amps and stuff, but I've never done that because I can't blow up my Susvara. The show, I'd go broke if I start blowing up headphones because in the name of experimentation. If I get 100,000 subscribers, then yeah, I'll plug my Susvara gladly into my Krell amp and see what happens. But we're on the road. We're about 95,000 short. Everybody? Anybody? Chance D. Cheers, Chance. Nice to see you. Cheers, buddy. Princess and the Pea. What is what comes to mind with you in the Susvara journey? I know. I'm on again, off again. Dickster, how you doing, buddy? Burson released a new amp yesterday. Looks promising. Yes, we just talked about that. Yay. Yay, us. We're ahead of the curve for once. Nephilim says, I do think the new Imperion is a good thing because it allows the first Imperion to become even more affordable. Well, the new Imperion used was down into the, way sub 2,000. The value on that thing crashed. Nobody knows more than me because I sold mine. They didn't do much with the, like color. It's a straight black headphone now, which I'm not thrilled about that. I don't think it's particularly more attractive. It didn't do anything for the looks on my end. I still like the copper one the best. I thought that was the cool one that they came out with on the Imperion. But they're going to have more colors. And you also know that we are now probably 6 months to a year away from an Elite 2. That's what that tells you. This headphone is the next on the chopping block. Because this is what came out after, it just makes sense. They're going to upgrade this and improve the technicals on this, or maybe trash the bass on it or something. I don't know. Already seeing listings of MPs on him. They've been selling for years, though, Christopher. Like that's been a steady bailout of that there's been a steady bailout from the Imperion camp for quite a while. Quite a while. Okay, so boy, I'm so far behind in the chat. This could be a 3-hour episode. A marathon live session at the director's garage. No, I'm glad you all stopped by today. It's so cool. So cool. Makes it worth doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Burson amp. Okay, so yes, it's the 3rd iteration of the Renaro. Okay, so they're tweaking it somehow. But they're not tweaking it so much that they're eclipsing the Elite. Wow, that's a mouthful. Eclipsing the Elite. Isn't there another? There's an Eclipse headphone, I'm sure. If there's not, there should be. Dickster, let me borrow that Susvara. Now I'm like, I don't want to get rid of it. I was so, for months, I've been like hell-bent on selling the Susvara. I'm like, I'm just done with it. I'm going to move on. And now I'm like, oh, damn it. Damn it. Now it's doing something. Damn it. Atomic Rooster has no experience with Meze. He'd be really curious to try any of their stuff. Well, here's what Meze gives you. Meze gives you world-class comfort. There is no headphone on the planet that feels as good as the Meze on your head. That's number one. Hang on, boys. I got to check something from work. Nope, not me. Never mind. Okay. There's no headphone in the world that feels as good as the Meze on your head. This there ain't nothing like this. This is like beyond world class. Like, this is luxury living. This is like, you know, sliding into a very expensive easy chair. It's like, you know, it's just amazing as far as comfort. Styling, this looks like a cool headphone. I mean, this is a cool looking headphone. The design, the technicals, you know, the way they put this together. Nobody's done this type of sliding mechanism before that could be so easily, you know, they're easily adjusted, yet they stay in place. The cups are independent. They swivel to your liking. The pads are the easiest on the planet to take off because they have this little magnetic dealio going on. By the way, these are Imperion 1 ear pads on this because I like the comfort. And like, I'm not looking for world-class performance out of these. This is a headphone I tend to wear when I just want to like sit back, chill, and listen to some good music and have something uber comfortable that won't annoy me at all. So I'm like, I put on, and it does enhance the bass a little bit because you get those, they're a little wider, they're thicker. But yes, that's what you get with Meze. The technicals don't start coming in until you get to the Elite. Like, that's where it at least shows some speed. It's nowhere near as fast as everything else in its class. It's not like going to blow you away with world-class resolution and detail retrieval. It will, however, all Mezes have phenomenal tuning. They have a beautiful, they tend more towards warm and fun, and there's nothing wrong with that in my book. I don't need analytics in my headphones. I'm not trying to dissect music. I want to listen to music. So, that's something that Meze does right every single time. Convince me audio, just I'll throw it in my face, Tommy V. Everybody else got the damn thing in an advanced review. I didn't. Meze. And I buy stuff from them. Like, I pay full cost. Anyway, it looks kind of funny on your head. Yeah, well, let me put the Susvara, or let me put the Abyss on, and then tell me how funny I look. Quantos. By the way, Quantos, cheers, brother. Welcome to the live stream. Thanks for stopping by today. We salute anybody who comes by new. Yeah, I guess they're a little wider. That's what than some other headphones. But man, they're just, I mean, the comfort level is crazy on these things. Crazy. And even better on the Imperion. The Imperion even had it better because they had the thicker head pads. Which is why I went out and bought a set of Imperion ear pads, because I wanted that sensation again. Ryan Dietz, tungsten single-sided is on its way to my... See, you shouldn't have told me that, Ryan! I appreciate it, though, man. So we're going to have a tungsten here to review. The problem is I've got 1, 2, 3. I think I've got 3 episodes already lined up in boxes right there. And then I got to get some reviews done. Man, it's going to be such a busy season around here. Just got to get through it all. Got to find the time to shoot, got to find the time to cut. And got to find the time to listen. That's the other part of it, yeah. It sounds pretty awesome too. Yes. And sound pretty awesome too. I can't wait to hear them though, Brian. Thank you so much, buddy. Cheers. Thanks for sending something our way. For all the folks to enjoy out there. Yeah, it's great. LCD4 is ugly. It's beautiful. It's so ugly, it's beautiful. Yeah, I don't know. I still have an affinity for the 4, and I was listening to them just earlier today. I just put them on for a few minutes because I wanted to hear them with the Enleum, and yes, they light up like a freaking neon sign on the Enleum. So good. Driving that bass. So good. How is the Elite with the Enleum? Overpowered. The Elite takes like a teacup full of power, and that thing's got a cannon for power. So it's like, goosh, squashing. And there's so many bizarre quirks with this amp too. I'm gonna, that's the other thing you're gonna get when I do the full review. I'll show off some of the bizarre, screwed up ideas that Enleum thought would be a good idea to do. And I'm like, this is dumb. This is dumb. Anyway, Gil Renard says, Michael, you're driving the Susvara from the 23R single-ended output. Yeah, you have no choice on that. There is no balanced output on the amp. Both the Bakoon and the Enleum 23R are single-ended unbalanced. So you have to go with a cool jack. You can go off the binding post, but it doesn't matter. There's only a single power circuit outputting juice, so it doesn't really matter. You can go off the binding post if you want, but you're not going to get any more power out of it. So yeah, because it's one circuit driving both the headphone side and the amp side. There you go. Christopher Luckenbach, Ryan Dietz, congratulations on the tungsten. These are nothing but positive things. Me too. I can't wait to hear positive things. So awesome. Mrs. Director in the house, I think. She just got home. Love 42, man. There is a big difference in sound with single-sided to the double-sided sound. Oh, is there? He's asking the question. Is there a big difference in sound between the single-sided and double-sided tungsten? Ryan? Crickets? I don't know. That's a question for Ryan. Dixer says, love the build on the Burson equipment. Really, really great. Yeah, I would say that Burson was one of the very first, it was the first solid state headphone amp I bought. I bought a Burson Conductor. So that was, phenomenal. And I really enjoyed it, and I have nothing but positive things to say about Burson. It's just fantastic company. Really good builds. The Enleum is a quirky build, but a solid build. So take that. And the same thing with the 13R, the Bakoon. It's quirky, but solid. Nephilim says, I do think the Imperion is a good thing because it allows the Imperion to become even more affordable. It's a decent headphone. Okay, we talked about that, I think. Did I lose my place? No. Christopher Luckenbach, already seeing listings of Imperion. Did I miss this? What am I reading this again for? I swear I did this already. So by the way, Christopher, the Elite sounds good on the Enleum, but it's like, oh my God, it's so much power for that headphone. Crazy. Okay, so I must have read some of this before and jumped around. Damn my brain. Dixter says, you need to get the new Modhouse Tungsten for a review that some claim is the LCD4 on steroids. Well, that's up to Mr. Ryan over there. But I'm glad to get the single-sided array. I'll ask him a ton of questions before I actually review it. But yeah, that's great. I'm just excited to get something from Ryan in here because I've been hearing such good things about his company, and you know, I'm all for it. You know, more the merrier. Get him in here. Nephilim says, Michael, the 13R is a pretty sought-after amp. You'll have no trouble selling it. We'll see. I don't know. I hope so. It seems to be, like I said, there was that weird thing. It's like the 23R came out, everybody rushed to it, huge praise, and then it kind of like fell out of favor for some reason. Like it stopped getting the buzz that it was. And I don't know if it was just other amps that came out. You know, there were like the Zal came out, a bunch of other stuff, and it, like the 23R kind of like disappeared. And then all of a sudden there was this big surge of interest about 6 months ago, and the 13R started going back up in price. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Chance D says he tried the 1266. He looked like he was preparing for a lobotomy. Yeah, I do too. It's definitely different. Mrs. Director sounds like an awesome lady. She is. She's worth keeping. And she's walking around upstairs right now. I can hear the footsteps. Level 42 man Ryan Deed says depends on your definition of big and how you configure them. Single plus hybrid pads versus double plus performance pads is a pretty big difference in his opinion, and those are default for each. Okay. Boy, we got a lot to get through. Yes, Mrs. Director is a keeper. And if not, half boys. It's going to cost me half, so she's a keeper. I'm just kidding. Too much fun. Susvara plus Enleum greater than the Caldera. Yeah, I think that's safe to say. The thing about the Caldera isn't that it's a better headphone than the Susvara. The problem with the Susvara is that it's $6,000, and then you gotta spend another at least $6,000 to get them to really blow your mind, like do something that really impresses you. The Caldera is $3,000, and if you get a nice one, you get like, you know, a special wood or something, $3,400 at most. You know what I mean? And for that money, you're getting 90%, maybe even 95% of the Susvara's sound in a much easier to drive package. The Caldera is for anybody who's just in the hobby to listen to music and really wants a great setup. Just go with the Caldera. Your life will be better. Your life will be 100 times better than buying a Susvara and trying to. I'm convinced that a lot of the people who own the Susvara aren't driving it well. Like, they bought it because it's the Susvara, it's the name. And I kind of did it first, but I did it with the knowledge that the 1000, the HE-1000 was one of my all-time favorite headphones. It still is. So I thought, well, it's enhancing that HD-1000-ness, HE-1000-ness, and giving me a greater version of it. And yes and no. I mean, it is technically superior. But guys, look, I 3 years of changing amps. 3 years of changing amps around before I found something that made me go, now that's an interesting sound. That's something that is worth keeping this headphone. It's in the back there. It's in the back row. Right back there. There it is. You can see it glowing. That's something that I want to have around now because it just got really interesting to me. It actually started doing something special. Why should we go through? What kind of masochists are we to put ourselves through that level of pain? And don't forget, I'm not convinced that part of the synergy of the other night doesn't rely heavily on the $12,000 DCS Lena DAC. I'm feeding a $12,000 DAC into a $6,000 amp into a $6,000 headphone. That's nuts, folks. That's crazy. That is absolutely batshit crazy. And it wasn't until that lineage of order of operations that I got to something that made me go, now that's impressive. The rest of the time it was like, okay, it sounds good. It sounds good. It's, you know, but it wasn't like I still picked the 1266 TC in my last Mega Shootout. And that was done with the Ferrum ore stack, I believe. I don't think, I don't remember if I had the 13R in here when I did the last Mega Shootout. So yeah, I mean, like, yes, Susvara plus Enleum is greater than the Caldera, but part of what make that combination great is the fact that I put a $12,000 DAC on the front end of it. If you swap that DAC out with the Hollow May or with, I don't know, pick your DAC. How many DACs are you? The Chord or whatever. Maybe I don't get that level of impressive. Maybe I'm not as impressed. I don't know. Because I don't have all, I had to sell all those other DACs to get to the DCS. So there's that. And I do think that if I put the clock in there, things are going to get even more interesting. But the clock is another, $7,000. You know, whoa. I mean, it's just so much money. Yeah, but as they say, money is only something you need if you don't die tomorrow. Okay, the Rodrigo is the man, is the drug pusher in New York City who pushed the Enleum to the director's garage. He's responsible directly for the Enleum being here. So if I have anybody to curse in my world right now, it's Rodrigo. Because he's making me lose sleep because I'm staying up late nights listening to all my favorite records on the Enleum combined with the Susvara. So there you go. He uses the, he uses them with his loudspeaker. Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Now I got to find out, now I got to find out what it's going to cost me to get into this Enleum. Damn it. JTB, cheers, brother. Thank you so much for the solid 10 there, buddy. You bought me some Cokes, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And your headphones are in the mail, my friend. Meze Audio Imperion 2 are being hyped big time. PS got the prize in the mail today. Oh, man, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad it got there that fast. I think I just mailed them like 2 days ago. That's phenomenal, man. I can't wait for you to hear them because those really do impress me. For an IEM, true wireless IEM, he got the Noble Focus Pro from the last giveaway. He was our big winner. So I'm so glad I went to somebody who follows the live stream. I got some live stream winners because when you do it, it's like, oh, I don't know this guy. It's kind of like, wah, wah. But it's great that a couple of winners came up. That was awesome. So JTB, cheers, brother. Glad you got them. Enjoy them. Listen to them. Pair them with your phone. Pair them with your. I was pairing them with my the other thing that's for sale. One of the many other things that's for sale. The portable thingy. Cayin N8. I was pairing them with that because that's got Bluetooth. So you can pair it with a quality DAP player and it'll really do some amazing things. So that's great. Ryan Dietz, sounds like a tricky decision to make. Appreciate the reply and congrats. Yeah, Ryan, I would have to, if I was in the market and I was going to buy, I would want to discuss with you, talk to you about my preferences and then see where you go from there. Gil Renard, yeah, Michael, that was his joke. That would make you want to load the Susvara after the results with the 23R. Well, the joke's on me because I really now am thinking I don't want to get rid of the Susvara. Now the Susvara is doing... It's got, anytime you get that sound and it's like it's something that you've been looking for so long, it's like I've been staying up nights listening to the Susvara and all the crazy great things that it does. And I can't put them down. It's so good. It's so good. And so the Enleum just shocked me. I was expecting like more of the 13R. And they did things inside of that just pushed it way beyond the 13R. And my thinking is, and I looked at the interiors, the internals. I can't do it here because I don't have a picture of the internals. But I was looking at the internals of the Bakoon, and I was looking at the internals of the Enleum. I think the Enleum has more capacitors and it has greater capacitors. Say that 5 times fast. Capacity capacitors. It's going to be the name of my next band. Or my first single. I'm not sure. And what I assume that this amp is holding power in reserve in the capacitors inside of it. And a great deal of it, because the punch on this amp is not like the Bakoon. That's where it's different from the Bakoon. There is greater punch, and the sub bass punch is just it's completely new territory for the Susvara. So really great. 1142 man, thanks. He would lean towards the single-sided if you prefer the Diana V2, Caldera, or LCD4. The double if you prefer the Susvara or the Meze Elite. Oh man, Ryan, that's like all the things, man. You're doing all the things with those headphones. Damn it. Mario, hello, you moved. Mario, how long you been away, brother? I moved 6 months ago. Got a whole new setup here. You got a lot of videos to catch up on, my friend. Nephilim81, you keep the Susvara because of the synergy you found with them. I agree, but that means I have to buy the Enleum 23R. And I think that Audio 46 does this to me because I have this horrible history of not being able to say no. No is hard. It's a hard word in my vocabulary. God. Yeah, Ryan, will the tungsten be at the Dallas show? Asked Stickster. Ryan, can you answer him? Yeah, Mimic will have them. There you go. Headamp will have them at the Columbia Audio Fest. Where's the Columbia Capital Audio Fest? Where's that at? Is that in Washington, the Capital Audio Fest? I don't know. Somebody asked me if I was going there. I'm like, no, it's not in LA. I don't think. Howdy, fellas. Happy Imperion 2 Day. Yes, Kevin Jock, we've been talking all about it today. It's been the topic of discussion. Everybody wants to hear him. 1142 man Ryan Dietz, he has all of the above Elite Susvara and the new Yamaha YH5000 SE are his 3 favorites. All right. Like that. Oh. Somebody asking for something. Okay. Well, okay. I got to do something real quick here, boys. Just say, stare at the pretty pictures. Here, let's go back to the Burson for a second. While I just have to text somebody something. They need some photos from me. There you go. Just check that out. Here's some music to listen to. Kills me. Okay, so let's see. And I haven't heard back. Okay, select. Do these to this man. And select. Okay. Okay. All right. Pictures to enjoy your pause in while I was answering some emails. And now I got to check my mix out again, make sure it's okay. Yes. Somebody needs some photos from me from a shoot this week. And I got to answer these things because it's work, and work is how we afford all this stuff. I wish I didn't have to. But I do. Okay. Level 42, man. Let's steer you toward double-sided pref pads then. Okay. JTB, one reason he really likes the Caldera is because it's more forgiving of bad recordings. That is true than higher-end headphones. That said, it's incredibly detailed. It's so good. It's such a good headphone. The better, more expensive headphone is more revealing, good or bad. Yeah, that's true. That's true, and that's one of the great things about the Meze products. The Meze products are very forgiving of bad tracks. They are the ultimate kickback headphone. It's terrific, but they won't give you that detail that maybe you want. It's up to you. See, and I got to thank you from the guy who asked me for the photos. That's awfully nice. Good to hear. No problem, buddy. Glad to do it. Glad to do it. Yeah, and you know, the Caldera, you know, no secret that that's one of my, that's probably the headphone of the year, I think, the Caldera. Like, we're getting down to the end of the year, and if I was going to give an award for the headphone of the year, it'd probably be the Caldera. I mean, it's just completely changed. It's a game-changing headphone. They pushed new ground, for sure. Any idea if you're getting a new Burson Soloist Voyager in for review? I mean, initially, I would say no, and thank God, because I've got so many reviews lined up here. I've got to do it. Never get rid of that mic. No, we won't be getting rid of the mic. The mic is part of my. This microphone is from 1962. It has had a life elsewhere before me, but it is a ribbon mic. It is incredibly painful to drive. I have a massive mic pre under here that costs about as much as the mic to drive it, because it's a very low output signal. So you can't just run it into any mic pre and it'll, you know, plus 48 volt and you're fine. You know, you can't put phantom power into a ribbon mic either. You'll fry it out because it's sending voltage in. It's going to screw up the ribbon. But it's a ribbon microphone inside. It's not a condenser. It's not like the typical condenser. It's actually got a ribbon that vibrates. Very cool. No, I wouldn't get rid of this mic forever. These mics are still being used, by the way, in recording. They're usually paired with like an SM57, which is a cardioid condenser mic on a cabinet. They use these all the time in recording still. There's just because it's old doesn't mean it's out of date, like me. This mic's older than me, by the way. Isn't that amazing? Mimic has the purple people eater tungsten. Can't wait to hear it. Yeah, no, me too. I want to hear all the Mod House things. Can't wait to do it. And I'm happy to push the brand on this show. It's great. Got an email from Burson. He was curious. He saw the $3,500 price tag. Yes, I got the same email. We all did, I think. A lot of people asking about that. We talked about it earlier on the show. I showed it off. But yes, it's super excited, JTB. I mean, you know, Burson does great stuff, so I can't wait. Christopher Luckenbach thinks the hype died down on the 23R because a couple of reviewers kind of poo-pooed them. Something about the mids they didn't like. That may be. I don't know, but it's like I had the 13R and I thought I was good to go. I really did. I had the 13R in here and I'm like, who needs the 23R? It's just an update. It's not an update. It's like there's a huge change going on inside that amp. Really exciting stuff. I'm very, very thrilled with what I've heard out of this so far. And like I said, my initial reaction is, I don't want to let this thing go. I got to figure out how to keep it. So the 13R is up for sale if anybody is interested. It's in good, I listed it as good condition. It's got a couple of little, tiny little nicks along edges and stuff. But it's, just like from a headphone knocking into it kind of thing. But the plates, there's no scratches or anything like that. You're looking at it from the front, it's like it looks really good. It's in great condition. Just a couple little things. But it comes with the original, beautiful Bakoon box. One of the worst remotes ever invented. Comes with it. Yeah. I'm including all of this for you guys. So stupid. Oh my God! Somebody shoot a tranquilizer into me. His Ibasso, level 42 man DAP driving his Caldera with ease, but a struggle for big time for the Susvara. Yeah, it would be. That makes sense. And again, there's a difference between. There are some amps that will let the Susvara make sound. I'm not saying that the or the 13R couldn't effectively drive the Susvara, it did. It made it happily push them. It wasn't anywhere near half volume on it. But the quality of what I was hearing out of the Susvara wasn't meeting what I wanted to hear them do. That's like the asterisk. Like, it's not just about will it let the Susvara make noise? Well, yeah, it will. It will make noise, but it's noise. It's not good noise. Got to add some similar level interconnects. Oh God, don't get me started on that shit. You're instigating, Christopher. You're going to the penalty box. 2 minutes for instigation. Ravel 156. Cheers, buddy. That's a new name around here. We raise a glass to everybody who's new. Cheers to you. He ordered a brand new Susvara for $3,000. But the sound of the, I'm assuming you're in Europe. It's not 3,000 here if you're ordering new. The sound of his HE1000 V2s hurts his ears. Too bright and murder on treble. That's interesting. Running on the Schick Ragnarok. Well, that's not an amp that I've used at all. Should you cancel the order or is it worth it? I don't know. I've never had a shit Ragnarok in here, so I can't comment about it. And the Susvara, the problem with, and I said this earlier in the episode, Ravel. The problem with the Susvara isn't that it's, you know, too much for the money or it's this or it's that. The problem is the world of hurt that it introduces into your life when you go to try and amp them well. Not amp them, just amp them well. It put me on a 3-year path, and the Enleum is the first time I put the Susvara on and went, oh, that's interesting. That's actually interesting. The rest of the time it's like, it's good. It's good. It sounds good. But it wasn't eclipsing a lot of the other stuff I had in the house. So yeah, you know, issues. I can't tell you whether to cancel or not. That's a decision you have to make for yourself, obviously. What I would say, though, is make sure you're prepared. Unless you're willing to accept the Susvara at face value, which is what it is. You know, like I put it on, I'll put it through the Ragnarok and whatever it is I'm going to live with. That's fine. I'm just telling you that the problem is that I've listened to so many different headphones. And I've had so many headphones in here, and so many have impressed me. 1266 TC. Just what a phenomenal headphone. The LCD4, phenomenal headphone. And I've been able to get amazing things out of there on some amps, whereas the Susvara is making me go, it sounds good. Doesn't sound bad, sounds good. Not impressing me, not making me go, oh my God, this is really crazy. It wasn't until I got that $6,000 Enleum from Audio 46 on loan. Gonna have to work with Audio 46 about how I get to keep this thing. Do you guys take kidneys? Just asking for a friend. Good Pixel Productions says, look forward to the XTC review. He has my XTC2 opens. What am I missing here? In the next shipment coming. We love your channel, Michael. Thank you for doing, is that to Ryan? That's got to be to Ryan. Thank you for doing, whoa. Chat just went nuts on me. Stop that. Don't do that. Thanks for doing what you do so well professionally. Awesome. Oh, that's John. God, Good Pixel. See, the problem is, guys, I don't know your handles. I don't remember your handles. I've got so much information in this brain. I remember your handle. I don't remember the person behind the handle. So that's Good Pixel Productions is John Massaria. And John has a little something coming for us. And I don't, this is the thing that I've been a little cryptic about on the channel. Like, I know what's coming, but I don't know what's coming because I'm not familiar with what he's been doing over there. So we're going to open something in the next episode that's going to be like new ground for me. I have no idea what it is because I haven't been following, like, I don't get to follow all this stuff because I work. Got to pay for stuff. Atomic Rooster shot me an email. Great. For some more headphone deliciousness. Awesome. Chance D says, director needs an intervention or an exorcism. Yeah, get this demon out of me that wants better stuff. That wants better sound. Awesome. Trade in the 13R. I don't know if anybody would take it on a trade. I don't know. I don't think Audio 46 would do that. That wouldn't make sense for their business model. But we'll talk. We can talk. Hey Ryan, says JTB. Michael has a very expensive taste in his audio gear. He probably eats filet mignon and lobster for every night. I wish I could. You know, the problem is that I'm on top ramen noodles because all my money's going into audio gear, JTB. Really, Nephilim says, really sounds like the 23R does a better job with macro and micro dynamics than the 13R. It does. And like I said, I think there's a capacitor. There's got to be something with the capacitors because that's where they store the energy and release it at a fast rate. So I don't know. The slew rate of the amp is definitely better. The Susvara picks up on that. Quite the truth sayer. And I don't know all of the circuitry and how it all interacts. I know enough to be dangerous, which is to say, talk out of the side of my neck. But I can tell you that there is something different. There is definitely qualitatively something different going on between the 13R and the 23R. There is no question in my mind. They have got something different going on because there is a significant difference jumping between amps. Significant. Not a small jump, it's a big jump. And I don't know why, but I'm going to investigate and try and describe what that difference is, and that'll be coming in the full review of the Enleum 23R. But that's like 4 episodes away. I got so much to do. Oy. Caldera's great, absolutely. Love that. And I love to see a manufacturer help, like saying good things about another manufacturer. Like the trend in this hobby is to try and pit things against each other. It's trying to create enemies. It's trying to create controversy because it's juicy and they'll think it'll, move numbers or something. And I'm like, there is plenty of room for all of these great companies to exist. I just want everybody to put their best foot forward. You know what I mean? And it says a lot that Ryan is complimenting Zach at ZMF's products. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I think that's fantastic. And cheers to you. That makes me even more interested in what Mod House is doing. And everybody else should too. Go over to Mod House. Check out their website. Look at their stuff. Oogle, drool. Do all you got to do. Do all the things, boys. All right, we're getting down to the bottom of the chat, and we'll call it a day for today. But what a day today, man. We had all kinds of new stuff. We talked about a new Burson amp, talked about a new Imperion 2 from Meze. I talked about my experience with the Enleum and how I'm going to have to sell one of them. Maybe they'll take a cat. Maybe I can give him Howley. Howley eats rats, boys. That's a huge benefit to having a cat. I'm trying to teach him how to go through a cat drawer. He hasn't figured it out yet. Okay. Arthur Haywood, what you've convinced me to do is keep his Caldera, upgrade his amp and DAC reasonably, and never look back. Yeah, Arthur, that's not the worst advice ever. The Caldera is a bottomless, soul-sucking headphone. No, it's probably the best headphone, but it hasn't. For years, it has not sounded like the best headphone. I preferred this headphone to the Susvara. I preferred the Carbon, the Audeze Carbon, the electrostatic, to the Susvara. Susvara didn't sound bad. it just didn't, to me, make me go, oh, definitely. And I know there are people that are like, this guy's high, like he's doing really bad drugs. You know, take better drugs, Michael, and you'll understand the Susvara. You know, and some of them just thought that I didn't have good ears, and I've been accused of that on many occasions. And I'm like, well, that's fine. I don't really care what you think of my hearing. I'm just telling you what I hear, and what I hear out of the Susvara to date, before the Enleum, was good. It was good. It wasn't spectacular. It was a good sounding headphone, but it didn't blow me away. When I'm staying up nights going through tracks, you know there's something hot going on. Like there's really something hot here. There's something about this whole pairing. And again, $12,000 DAC may have a lot to do with this whole combination. And I am at a point, I had to sell my other DACs to get to this DAC. So I don't have a second DAC to go, oh, let's just swap out DACs and see if it's just as good. I don't. So, whatever. So, yes. And JTB, you're spot on, buddy. Spot on. As usual. Without the proper amp to drive the Susvara to its fullest capabilities, most buyers will have remorse with them. Yes, or they'll just not know what they're missing out on, or what it, you know, why the Susvara is such a big thing. They'll just buy it because it's the Susvara and everybody says it's the best. There was a chat. It wasn't a chat, or I was reading something. And it's always dangerous when I read. Guys, stand back. But I was reading something, I think it was on HeadFi. Because I did some more HeadFi listening lately. Or reading lately. And so I was checking out HeadFi, and there's like a newbie, like, hey, I just decided to get into this hobby and I went out and bought the Susvara. And everybody who was following this thread did a spit take at once. It was like a cumulative, like, you did the worst thing you could do. Like, you need to build. Like, there's a reason you want to build to the Susvara, because you have to, otherwise you're jumping in and you don't know what you're hearing. It just takes some time. And I'm not, look, if you got the money and you want to do it just to do it, fine, go do it. I don't give a you know, it's your money. Waste it however you want, but you're never going to understand what it is about that headphone that makes it that headphone. And I would say the same about the 1266 for that matter, until you've heard other headphones and can appreciate how it's different. And, you know, like I said, every time I put the Susvara on, I'm like, it sounds good, but I don't get the feeling that I'm hearing what this headphone should be giving me, you know? And so it finally did. Anyway, there you go. Sorry, Miss Director chimed in. So there you go. Sorry. Yeah, always text the wife, boys. Always text the wife. Head Trip 3, level 2 is what you need, boys. Head Trip 3. I don't know what I need. I need a phlebotomy is what I need at this point. Diminishing returns. Absolutely. Arthur Haywood, that is probably the message of the day. It's diminishing returns. That's what it is. And I think the regular hobbyist should jump in. First of all, don't go into debt to get into this hobby. It's a huge mistake. You know, it's a huge mistake. Don't do it. Get in where you're comfortable. Get in where you're comfortable with. Put in the money that you feel you're comfortable putting in, and find the best value for the money at that price point. That's why I try and say, you know, well, how much, when somebody says, what headphone should I buy? They've done this in the chat a couple of times. People drop in, hey, what headphone should I buy? They're like, well, how much do you want to spend? $1,200. Okay. Well, at $1,200, I would push you toward a HiFiman, like the Aria Stealth Magnet Edition, something like that. Or the amazing Dan Clark Audio Noir Aeon 2 Noir, $900. Easy to drive, $900. Go. You know, you got $2,000. Well, it'd probably push you towards like the HE-1000 V2, or you know, there are a couple other headphones up there. If you got $3,000, now it's starting to get interesting. Well, I would say, you know, Caldera, done. You know, if you've got the money for the Caldera, great. But once you start getting up further, now it becomes, you know, you are hitting those diminishing returns. Is the Susvara better than the HE-1000? Yes. Yes. But the money it costs to get that Susvara into that thin air, it's, you know, it's, you're getting this much better for this much money and this much effort and output. It's like, find your sweet spot and stick in that sweet spot. You know what I mean? That's my advice, always. And you can say I'm crazy anyway. I don't care. It's good. Nephilim says he admits he hasn't tried the Caldera yet. It does sting a bit. However, he's pretty over the moon with the original Final Audio D8000. You know, you found something you enjoy. Why mess with something you enjoy until you know you can't enjoy it anymore? Headphone that's hard to dethrone. It's a great headphone. I heard it. You know, it's great. Christopher Luckenbach, it's all preference and synergies. Yes, absolutely. Synergy is a big part of this equation. And don't forget that I had in here for a long time, I had the cord stack. And when I had the cord stack in here, that's a bright-ish sounding, that's a DAC that leans bright analytical. You pair that with a bright analytical headphone, and you've got a bad situation on your hands. You want to pair it with a slower, warm headphone. That's going to be more like, oh, it's taking this kind of lush, warm sound and adding some sparkle to it. Good pairing. The Lena is less on the bright end. Still considered on the bright side, if you believe reviewers. I have no reason to doubt anybody. I haven't compared, you know, it's hard to compare a DAC to a DAC because you've got to have a control in there that makes sense, you know, and so whatever. Arthur Haywood, to his ears, the Caldera is warmer, more musical compared to the D8000. That's fair. They make a good 1-2 punch combo if you want to change it up from time to time. I'd buy that. I don't think that's pushing somebody in the wrong direction. Mario says the problem is that people have to choose, and that's why the Versus is such an enticing premise. Yes, and you know, I love a good shootout. I love talking about the differences and what the advantages are and what I think about it. I don't mind pitting stuff against each other. I don't think it has to be adversarial. I think it can be just these are the differences, and either you like it or you don't. JTB, this is far broke him. You can always count on JTB to turn the advice to bring some luckily HiFiman let him return it. That's awesome, man. I'm glad HiFiman did. They're a good company over there. Like I said, they gave me, in exchange for my HE-1000 V1, they gave me the V2. All they asked was that I review it, and boy, what a great headphone that was. That still is. It says something when this many years later they're still making it and still selling it. You know, and people are still buying it. It's great. Nephilim says, true, Chris, true. The tuning is nuts enough. You have to listen to anything. You can listen to anything on that headphone. Yeah. I think he's talking about the D8000. Variety is a spice of life. Absolutely. Been a great chat here, boys. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up the stream too. This hobby of ours will allow us to own nothing and be happy. True. Seriously, world's most power Audi head trip 3 Lev 2. Okay, I'm unfamiliar with it, so I can't. You know, I would say this. You know, you can get any power level you want if you're willing to use a power amp on your headphones. You're also risking destroying them. So, but I haven't seen the head trip stuff, but I'll check it out sometime. I don't have time right now because we've got 3 episodes brewing here, man, and it's good. But thanks for chiming in. I'll write it down. I'll put it in my notes. Can't hurt. Copy. Somebody want to look that up and we can comment it real quick, but otherwise I'll, the head trip 3. Okay, I'll check it out. Good advice, JTB says, do enough research to zero in on an endgame headphone and the gear that in your price range and start saving. Yeah. Eating noodles and bologna sandwiches for a while will help speed the process. You know I have a cat named Noodles, don't you? I'm just saying. It's the truth. We laugh because it's funny. We laugh because it's true. Nephilim says he found a sweet spot, but it was expensive. He won't lie. Yeah, and I'm still searching for... I mean, the nature of this show is to push the envelope, is to find the edges, the fringes, you know, and you know, that's just the nature of what I'm doing on this show, and hopefully not breaking my bank to get there. But, you know, that's what you got to do. Just don't pile yourself under and like put yourself in a world of hurt over audio gear. I mean, like, there's more to life. Go take a walk. You know, it's not where, you know, there's great stuff out there that's affordable. Great stuff. Where just because don't have FOMO on this stuff, because again, diminishing returns. You're pushing for this much more. It's not all that it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Timothy says, vocal clarity on the Susvara is just something else, man. Yeah, it's the mids. It's those mids. It's like, Timothy, I agree with you. Cheers, Timothy. I think I don't see your face around here before, so we raise the glass to new folks around here. Yeah, the mids, the vocals are true to life. And again, it's like, but finding the amp to get you those true to life vocals, like, oh. But for me, I appreciated the mids and I appreciate all that stuff, but it just would never kick down low like my other headphones did. This is the first combination where, like, wow, like I said, I put on Stevie Ray Vaughan and like listened to Couldn't Stand the Weather, and that opening thing is like, the opening bass note is just like, it pushes your soul. I'm like, this is where the Susvara, but it's 25 watts aside and whatever the hell they're doing with the caps on the inside, and I couldn't get that out of the 13R, and I'm getting it out of, you know, like, it took a lot. It takes a lot, and it's probably not worth it. Claudius says, hi, Claudius. Cheers, brother. Hi, Claudius. Good morning, and welcome from Indonesia. Claudius won something in one of our giveaways once, so we sent something out there. Send something to Indonesia, boys. Well, a good night in the U.S. Mr. Michael can join at this time. Yes, and we're about to go off the air. I'm sorry, Claudius. I got to go eat dinner. Hail Schwab. Do your investments. Yeah. You want the best advice? Sell all this crap. Throw it into a an index fund with Vanguard. That's the smart move, boys. You know, something that rolls over. Collect interest. It's time for a Susvara refresh now, though. I agree with you, JTB. You're positively spot on. My prediction for this year was we would see a new Susvara. I actually thought we would see something from HiFiman at CanJam SoCal. I was surprised when they didn't have a new one. Okay. Michael, get a t-shirt of the Susvara. The captions, no speaker taps necessary. What did you think of the tote, though, that we got with the 23R? That was funny. Not that, Noodles. My cat. SRV. Yeah, I know, man. I know. I'm so addicted to Stevie Ray. All these years later, man, he was my guy in the 80s. New Imperion 2 just announced. Yes, previews are promising, but I wasn't a fan of the Elite compared to the LCD4. Yes, Leon, we talked about that at the top of the show. The whole first half of the show was about the Elite. I'm getting ready to drop out of here. What's the amp? Oh, watch the episode that dropped yesterday. It'll tell you all about it. It'll tell you all about the quest for synergy with the Susvara, and I'll detail that even better when I do the full review of the Enleum. But watch the episode from yesterday. I unboxed the Enleum, and it's tangible improvements. And I agree, Nephilim. I think that a lot of people like the first record, and a lot of people like In Step over the second one. Couldn't Stand the Weather was it for me. That was his. To me, that was the absolute pinnacle for me, for Stevie Ray Vaughan. Michael, were you putting the 13-hour into high power mode? Yes, absolutely. Timothy Jolly, JTB wants that so bad. Adios, music lovers. All right, cheers, everybody. We're down to the bottom of the chat. We got to say goodbye. Hey, I want to thank JTB for tipping his head waiter. I usually say, as a joke, I say tip your waiters and waitresses on the way out because we're at the happy hour Humpday Hangout. But JTB really put his money where his mouth was this time. I got to appreciate that. Hey, okay, so what do we have coming? I've got a semi-mystery What's in the Box from Mr. John Massaria coming next. I haven't talked about that on the regular show. I gotta get out of this one. How do I get out of this? Just start quitting things. I can't quit you. So what have we got coming? So I've got this John Massaria semi-mystery box coming soon. That's going to be the next episode. I have not shot it. I haven't written it. I haven't done any of the things. It's been a very, very busy week, and I've got a very busy day tomorrow. So I might get to shoot it Friday, or who knows, maybe I'll do another live stream Friday. Ooh, that's too much for 1 week, don't you think? So I'll probably shoot it Friday, and then we'll edit over the weekend and get it out next week. That's the plan, barring significant changes in my work schedule. And then we'll be back next Wednesday, hopefully, as long as my schedule permits. We're here every Wednesday at 3 p.m. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Please stop by and say hey. It's always good to hear from you guys. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy all of you. And I wish you happy listening. And I'm going to see you guys before you know it. Yeah, cheers. Where's my thing to get out of here? All right, I'll see you guys.